Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Kill Bill. I'm going to be your co-pilot for today's episode of We Don't Suck, episode number 67. Welcome to the We Don't Suck podcast. So I just want to be upfront with you guys. Okay, this is going to be a choose your adventure type situation. This is the scenario for you guys. You can either choose the reality that we live in, which is I fucked up the audio for this week's episode, making me sound like shit and making Rav sound great. Or, I mean, you could choose that. That's boring, boring. Like, oh yeah, Bill sucks, he's bad at doing his job. You could do that. You could pick that universe, the one that we currently live in, or you could choose to believe. I think you're imaginative. You look imaginative. I can see you through the screen. You could choose to believe that I was actually sucked into a haunted Nintendo 64 cartridge, and that's why I sound the way that I do. So either it's Bill's bad, or sucked into the haunted N64 cartridge, and that's why I sound the way that I do. So I just want to be upfront. That's why I sound the way that I do on this episode. I love you guys. Rav is a stinky poo-poo head. I think that he might have actually sabotaged my recording to make me look bad. That is my final answer. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. We will be talking about everything from streaming to scat porn. Okay, let's get into it. Okay. Chicka, chicka. Yeah. Kill Bill and Rav. We don't suck. Ooh.
Bloody hell, woman. For you fucking stupid woman.
Dude.
Welcome back to the Chibi Chubby podcast. So, Bill, what's happening, man? How you been?
I've been good, man. I've been, you know me, man, just grilling. Just grilling and
that's right.
Streaming on
grilling
Twitch.
And yard work.
And yard work.
I did
a lot of yard work. Sorry, what were you going to talk to me about?
I wanted to hear more about the yard work, but first, I was going to talk to you a little bit about streaming, maybe.
Streaming on twitch.tv/KillBill the Rapper? I can't believe that you would ask me this.
You're a streamer now, right? Streamer? I don't even know her.
Yeah, no, I've graduated to full-time titty streamer.
Yeah, 100% full-time. You stream every day.
Every moment, every waking moment. I'm just streaming.
Yeah, streaming right now.
Streaming it up, baby boy, But yeah, it's been fun. We just been basically doing whatever I want to do. Which, okay, there's something kind of like weirdly liberating about that. Because like at first I went on and I really just wanted to stream Dragon Ball FighterZ.
I remember.
Because it's one of the few games I feel like I'm pretty good at. And it has a pretty cool community. Like a few of the people that I look up to like followed me back and stuff, and I was like, damn, this is tight. It's one of my favorite fighting games of all time, right? Like I like in my head I put it in the same league as like your Guilty Gears and your Street Fighters and stuff like that. I really
right. So you was just like an opportunity to like actually play this game that you really like, and in a space that's sort of known for having people play on there and people watching them.
Yeah.
As a member of the audience, of someone who's not super deep into fighters, I actually never tuned in to any one of your streams until recently, just because I kind of knew that's what you were doing, and I thought that's cool, but it wasn't my bag, right?
Yeah.
And I remember, but I didn't know that you were so set on doing fighters. See, I didn't know that. I thought you were just kind of like, you were just gonna do whatever you wanted to do. That's why, like, I was like, hey, bro, you should make some beats on Twitch,
yeah,
and I'll tune in. Just because I was like, I kind of missed it. I remember watching you make beats when we used to live together and everything. And
yeah.
There's something like really relaxing about that process, just watching somebody make beats, especially with you because you're actually entertaining.
It's real different too, because I used to stream myself making beats like a long time ago. I'm talking about like 2016, something like that. I was making beats
years ago.
Yeah, years and years ago. And so people used to send me samples to flip. And I mean, some of the people who are like still big in the community, like were there, like at the time, like people that have been like, have stuck with us, you know, in like our Discord and our fan base and stuff like that. There's like people who remember those streams, but it's way different now because there's actually people in it. Because like I used to stream that, and I'd like play like old N64 games and stuff, and it would be like 5 people in the stream, and I thought it was so much fun.
Oh wow.
And then now it's like, I mean, like I know that there's like streamers that have way more, but we were getting like about 100, and I was like, damn, this is cool. And people would send in samples, and like some of them were good, some of them were bad, and so like it started off with that. But the thing that I really enjoyed about it is that I could just switch at any time. Like midstream, I'd switch and play Yume, or like the other day, I want to do like get in the habit of starting off with beat stuff, because I think that's like good for me. Like it's exercise, but
yeah,
you know, so I'm trying to lose weight via making beats. But no, I mean like exercise production wise.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea of like starting off with making beats, and then when I get kind of burnt out and tired, like mentally from that, then switching over to like playing a game. Or the other night, something that went really well was I asked people to submit their music for me to listen to and play on stream. And I just want to shout out real quick. There's this one kid that sent me something. It was fucking brilliant. This Daniel's Gone was his name. And like all the shit he sent me was fire. Like it's real different. And I was like, wow, this is cool. The music videos were tight too. And but yeah, like it was cool. I was afraid to do it at first because I knew that there was going to be some people who would send stuff and they'd be like new at making music, or like it just wouldn't be very good. Like I was afraid that it was going to be more of that, and I didn't want to like disappoint people. But what I did, if there was any stuff that I didn't like, I would just explain in a positive way like what I didn't like about it. And people were cool about it. Like, I don't think I hurt anyone's feelings or anything. I think overall it went pretty good. And it was fun.
Okay.
Most importantly, it was a lot of fun. And, like, a lot of people really loved that stream. Like, they were, like, I got a lot of messages, and they were like, wow, that was really cool.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time. And, I mean, I tuned in for the first time you started making beats, and I stuck around for the first 2 beats that you were making. And that was really fun. You know, that there's that interactive element, but also doing something creative and kind of narrating it's I don't know, it's kind of insightful and fun, and it made me sort of want to do that too.
Damn.
Like try something out where maybe it gives you an excuse to flex that producer muscle and like work on that. But also kind of to keep touch with the audience, and especially now, you know, with the Rona sort of situation, a lot of people are stuck home, and you know, for us, for instance, almost no opportunities for touring as far as we can see, probably for the rest of the year, realistically, with how hard the touring industry's been hit. So I still do want to connect with an audience in a way that like touring would have allowed to, and sort of seeing what you did on Twitch the other night made me think like, oh, maybe this could be it, you know? And back in the day, I used to watch Twitch years ago. You know, I watched when Twitch plays Pokemon, the first playthrough. I watched that.
Oh, yeah. That's that OG shit.
Yeah, I used to tune in for, you know, James and Alex streams before they were Couch Hop. And I used to... There were like streams here and there that I enjoyed. I know T-Pain streamed at one point.
Yeah, I like T-Pain streams.
But I just never thought I could do something like that, just because I was like, you know what, I don't like the idea necessarily of playing games live, like in front of a live audience, you know? Just to me, it just didn't seem like a chill idea, knowing myself. But then seeing what you did, it kind of made me think like, oh, well, yeah, there's no longer that limitation on Twitch where you have to play games that I know they used to have like over 4 years ago. Like you had to play a game, you know? And now it seems like you can do a lot of other creative things. You can react to things as you have. You can make things, like whether it's musical or editing things, Ross animates or draws or designs clothing in Animal Crossing, things like that. So seeing that it allows you to do something creative and still connect with your audience definitely seems like an attractive thing to me. So I've ordered a bunch of equipment, and I'm probably going to put together some sort of schedule, probably one stream a week or so. But yeah, looking into doing something cool, just kind of want to figure it out. And even once I do start, I doubt I'm going to have it all figured out right out the gate. It's going to take some time before I get my sea legs with streaming, but I'm excited. Just watching you, it seems so exciting.
Yeah,
that I'm feeling stoked.
No, definitely, it's a lot of fun. It was way more fun than I thought it was gonna be, because I kind of built it up like in my head. Like I was like, oh, I mean, like it's gonna be like I go on there and like I make a beat, or because I had, when you messaged me, I was already kind of at the point where I was like, what am I going to do next? Because I put out like a Twitter poll. Like I was like, do you guys want to see more like production stuff? Do you want more fighters? Do you want more current games? Do you want like retro stuff? And like, it was pretty varied, but the two big ones were, it was like 33% was music production, 34% was like old retro games. Those are like what they wanted to see me play. And I was happy about that, because those were the two that I wanted to do. Like I was like, okay, these are two.
I think people wanted to see you in your element, right?
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't mind watching you play like Ocarina of Time or something like that. It sounds like a good idea, but because of like who you are, knowing that those are the games you grew up on, and then also of course producing is you in your element. So maybe that's why people are attracted to that idea.
Yeah, for sure. And so like I had like a weird epiphany the other day when I was like I was talking to Jordan about it, because I annoy Jordan all the time, because like she'll be sitting there watching TV or something, and like while we're chilling, I'll like have my laptop set up, and I'll just be like playing like a game. Like I've been playing a lot of like old like Game Boy Advance games and stuff recently. And so I'll just be chilling playing a game, and she'll be watching TV, and I'll kind of like be looking up at the TV and then looking back down, then looking back up, just kind of multitasking. And then like when something happens, I'm always like, look at this part, look at this. And it like annoys the shit out of her. I'm sure she doesn't say that it does, but I can tell, you know what I mean? And
right.
I just realized that ever since I was a kid, anytime I would play a game or do anything that I thought was cool, I would always annoy my mom and be like, yo, look at this, this is so cool. And my mom, she would always humor me.
Yeah, I was the same with my younger sibling.
Yeah. And it's like my mom, she would always humor me and look and be like, wow, that's so cool. But like, really, you could tell she doesn't give a fuck, and
that's sweet.
Yeah. My mom's a really sweet lady. But I think that there is some kind of weird connection with kids who did that all their life and who want to be on Twitch. Like I think there's like, and I thought that with the Let's Plays, it would be the same thing, but I figured out that those are two different like itches to scratch. They're two completely different like emotions that you get from like someone watching something that you made that is like an edited, put
like
together.
The Let's Play stuff.
Yeah, all the Let's Play stuff is different in terms of, it is this thing that is like a lot of effort, and it becomes, well, not necessarily as much on my part, but you know what I mean? Like it's
no, but it's like it's a
art.
different thing, but it's very different to like making music and showing that to people or performing in front of. It's a different itch entirely, and then I'm assuming with Twitch, it's even. It's also another example of a different itch that's being scratched there. Yeah, because
I mean, I thought it was cool, especially when I was showing people the stuff that we were doing with like Nun Massacre. I remember having all those, when you had edited all the Nun Massacres up to a certain point and they weren't out yet, and then it was like near Halloween, and then like all my friends, we were all on the couch, and then they were like so what are you working on? And then I showed them all the Nun Massacre stuff that wasn't out yet.
That's great.
And like great. I remember being like, wow, this is so cool. And it just feels kind of like that, but just like you're doing it like live. It's way more chill than I thought it would be, especially like I played Yume Nikki, and that was so much fun, really chill,
Yeah, that sounds like it would be chill. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm trying to just make the chillest stream of them all. So, but yeah, dude, just like you, to walk in my footsteps, man. You know, you gotta.
Well, I mean, we're doing some things different. You know, like I'm probably not going to be playing games as much, although I imagine I will. I'm getting my equipment without e-bagging, and so there are things that differentiate our approaches to
Hey,
this.
man, I only got my only piece of equipment that I'm using for streaming. It was e-bagged, but that's okay. That's okay.
I didn't e-bag because I didn't want people to think, I guess, that I would do, because as I said, like, I'm talking about it now, and maybe I'll try streaming and I'm just no good at it, or it doesn't bring me much joy, and then months from now people will come across this podcast here and they're like, what, he said he's gonna stream? Does he stream? He doesn't? What an idiot,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But
you don't want to be like the dude who like got a stream deck from someone and then like never used it. You know,
yeah,
or
exactly.
something
Plus,
like that.
it's plus I'm okay. I'm pretty responsible with my finances. I'm not saying you aren't, but I didn't just like, oh, I need all of this all at once. You know, I already have, as someone who edits videos, records music, and does a lot of these other things, I already had a bunch of equipment to start off with, so it hasn't been like a really big investment, and not going for the most expensive equipment.
I mean, we've been in the process of like moving into this house and stuff, so I'm about to have to spend like a whole bunch of money just like I have to get like all new furniture and stuff. So I didn't feel so bad about putting my wish list up. At first I was kind of weird about it, but I was like, well, if somebody wants to support, a lot of people say like, oh, how can I support you other than just like buying music? And so I was like, you know what, I'll put that out. If people want to give me something, I really appreciate it, but if not, it's fine, you know.
Right, yeah, exactly. It gives them that option. I haven't, and as I said, the difference is I know that you're someone who's like, hey, I want to do streaming, and it's probably real because you have that experience to begin with, whereas I don't. So I didn't want people paying for something that, they might never see me use.
Yeah.
And plus, a lot of these things I bought, I know that they'd have a function beyond streaming.
Yeah. Well, you got like a green screen and everything, right?
Yeah, I got a small green screen.
That's useful outside of streaming. You can use that for a lot
sure.
of things.
That could be fun for like chibi chubby stuff. I could do like little edits and stuff. It could be useful for music videos potentially. The Stream Deck can be useful for just like your workflow in general. It helps. It'll help me sort of jump between different things a lot quicker because I edit video, I edit audio, I edit images. I sort of do kind of a lot of editing kind of stuff in general, and having a Stream Deck allows you to sort of jump between a lot of these things in a way that is even more not helpful, but more time efficient than just certain shortcuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I see a point of use in that. The webcam that I got is, why not?
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course.
The webcam is probably the only stream piece of technology that I've bought. Everything else I feel like has more uses to them. I got a little light for my face.
Well, if you want to do a business conference at any point from your home, you got the right webcam for it.
That's true. Although most of my business conferences I do in FaceTime because I'm a rapper, so I can.
Wow, dude, how unprofessional! You need to use dude. You need to hit people up. Be like, hit me on Skype. Hit me on the. No, what is it?
That's so good. That's a good thing about being a rapper, though, is when you do get hit up by an A&R or a label or a touring agency, and they call you, they're absolutely fine with you being on FaceTime because they're like, they're a rapper, like
they're completely.
They're not gonna have an office.
Dude. No, listen. You got to show them that you mean business, and so you're gonna fucking set up a DSLR or a mirrorless situation. And
I'm just gonna have a normal little webcam.
No, dude. You're gonna set it up, and you're gonna put it on a tripod in front of you, and you're going to make a Twitch stream just for them, but only for them. Just broadcast to them, and you can't hear them, but they can hear you, and that's how you assert dominance in the world of business, brother.
Right.
I know a thing or two about business.
Well, I've decided to save money. I know that you wanted to get like lights, LED lights, and furniture and all that. So you're taking the approach of like kind of set building, whereas with me, I'm taking a shortcut with the green screen because I figured like, look, if I have a good webcam with a good depth of field, I have a green screen and a good like diffused lighting my face, then it can bring the best out of that camera. And plus, I'm probably just going to be overlaid on top of, I don't know, let's say FL with me in the corner. That's going to be enough. And I don't need to really do much in the way of world building. I already have a fantastic microphone. I've already got a great audio interface and all these other things. So it was like a shortcut financially for me.
No, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. But I think the one thing that I've been doing over here is like I've been really like spending some time and some money and trying to make like this studio room into like the place that I want to be in the house the most, if that makes any sense. And so like me, like I love thematic stuff. I know that she like talked about anytime like we recorded records together or I put records out myself or whatever, that was like fucking, it would always say the like recorded at the aquarium or recorded at such and such, and they were always water themed. Like it would be like, what was it? The aquarium, the swamp, something else. There was another one I can't remember. Oh, Aqua Lounge. This is Aqua Lounge 2.0 technically. But I wanted this one, instead of it being water themed, I wanted it to be space themed, and I wanted to have like a bunch of things that made me feel like I was like out of this world when I was in here. And so
that's good, and I'm jealous in the sense that, like, you know, with me, everything is temporary. Where if I, for instance, the setup I'm using right now to record the podcast and the Let's Plays, I put them together in like 15 minutes. I use them, and as soon as we're done, I disassemble everything. If I were to show people photos of where I record, it looks really clean, and nothing would indicate that I use any of that space for recording, because ordinarily it's just a part of the living room. And it's going to be the same with the streaming, you know. It allows me to, again, put together, just put the green screen behind me, set up the webcam, the lighting, and everything, and do that. It should only take me 15 minutes to set up, and then 15 minutes to disassemble and put everything back together. And it's, on the one hand, I like it because it just feels like I have a separation between that and my personal life, you know? But on the other hand, I'm also, sometimes I just wish I had a studio like I used to, where it's just, I have a moment of inspiration, I could just jump in, hit that record button, and get it out of me. That's why I'm looking forward to, as I said, you know, building a proper studio shed, through the service I found for that. But in the meantime, and probably for a while, given the pandemic, it's probably just going to be this, hey, putting together a makeshift recording situation, disassembling, and that's it, and rinse and repeat. So I can't really do what you're doing, and I'm a bit jealous.
Yeah, I mean, eventually you'll get to that point where you can get the shed and stuff. Like, I feel like I'm blessed in a sense. I'm blessed in a sense because I don't really have neighbors. Like, I have neighbors, but they're further down. They're not like touching my house. You know, I like live out in a fucking field, and it's I can be as loud as I want here. I actually tested it to make sure, because I didn't want to like piss them off, even though they're like says like a fucking football field away. I didn't want to like make bass sounds and then think. So what I did was I like cranked my speakers all the way up, turned on like, I don't know, like fucking hard style techno, something that's like really just super loud, and then I walked out and then like walked down to see how far away I could hear it, and it was like not that far, and so I was like, okay, perfect. And so I started setting up in here, and so it's tight because like right now I'm by myself. I haven't even considered that like the neighbors yet, because I do have a neighbor, I forget. But that being said, I usually I wouldn't be streaming late my time or doing these recordings late my time, so I've never
been worried about that.
Yeah.
I don't need to be super quiet for it. So that's never affected me. I guess having monitors for mixing, there is a bit of an issue there. And as I said, because I don't have a specific room for recording, it's more so that it would get in the way of my personal life and my partner's personal life.
For sure.
We'll live together, and the living room, I can't just hijack a half of the living room for my own needs,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, my girl, like, I'm still cleaning this house out from all the fucking bullshit that we did to it years ago. But like when my girl eventually moves in over here with me, like, I just want to, like, I have my situation, my whole setup, like, on one end of the house. It's my old bedroom from when I was a kid. And then, like, I know that our bedroom would be on the other side of the house. And when it was the other way around, you couldn't really hear music if you turned it up. Because I like to just listen to music fairly loud. Like, not like, oh, this is damaging my earbuds, my eardrums. But I'll listen to stuff with bass. And, you know the type of fucking music I listen to. I always listen to fucking trap shit and just, like, ignorant southern rap music. And so, like,
and EDM, you love a lot of EDM stuff, which is also
I don't listen to as much EDM as I did before, but like some of the like beat scene stuff, I was just basically anything that has low frequency bass. It seems to be my thing. And so I'll I'll just put music on and just do stuff. And it's nice that I can have my monitors and turn them on, and I won't have somebody banging on our door like when we were in Colombia. Anytime I would turn it up a little too loud,
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, good times. Do you remember that when they would bang on the door? Were you ever around for that?
I don't know if they ever banged around. Maybe once or twice when we were there. Actually, most of the time somebody was banging on the door was the kids.
The kids that were fucking obsessed with us for some reason.
Yeah.
Good times, man. Good fucking times. But yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, no, I remember one time when Tim was living there, which was before you were there, he was upstairs in the room that I ended up taking after he moved out, or after Shay moved out too. It was that room. And he had a little sub that he had underneath his bed, and he would watch The Price is Right every morning and smoke a joint. That was like his thing. Smoke a joint while you watch Price is Right, and then, like, he would go to work like an hour later. And
Gotcha.
So he turned it on one day, and apparently there was this dude who, like, he works nights, our old neighbor that was there before you were there. Yeah. And so apparently the bass was too loud from The Price is Right one day, and it was like 10 a.m., and then you could hear on the other side of the wall, because he came and grabbed me. He was like, yo, listen to this. So the dude was like banging on the other side of the wall, like real, like crazy banging. Okay. And he was like, some people gotta sleep. And like, he didn't even realize that it was too loud, because I didn't hear it, it's like from downstairs or anything, But apparently that wall was kind of thin. He's like, some people gotta sleep. And it was like 10 a.m. And then he was saying, like, if he, because there's no like actual noise ordinance there, like, until a certain time. So you can technically kind of do whatever you want until that point. I mean, I guess they could complain about it and they could ask you to stop. But yeah, because the dude was like cussing him out to the other side of the wall, he like turned it up. Like even more.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Well, it's good that you won't have any issues like that. So yeah, at least when you pad your room out, which by the way, I suggest also investing in panels more so than foam. Foam's good, but only does so much. paneling will do a great deal, although it is a little more expensive. But at least you won't have to worry about like, oh, how much sound is coming out. More so, just like how much sound is reverberating in the room. That's like your only concern.
Right now, I'm still in the process of putting all the foam up, which is actually working terribly because I'm using like command strips, and apparently it's not linking to the command strips. And so like I put up like a wall, like the entirety of a wall, and now like half of it is just sitting on the floor. I'm looking at it right now. But like I was because obviously I want to like treat the room for listening purposes, like for like actual mixing and stuff like that. And I want to get some stands and stuff, and because like I think technically speaking my monitors aren't in the correct position.
Right, they have to be facing inwards at you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can turn them inwards when I do, but it's not like the perfect triangle. It's like my
desk
have to
be spaced out, right?
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna do is because I just got I got like a 32-inch monitor, and so what I think I'm gonna do is like take those and put those like on the sides of the desk, like via stands. And then, like, if I ever want to, I could, like, get another, like, to take up that space is just, like, going to be empty on there. Maybe get another monitor. And, because that shit would be fucking cool to have, too.
On that subject matter, what else do you feel like is missing right now for your setup? Whether it's your streaming setup or production?
I mean,
is there anything that you feel like is missing for your streaming setup?
The streaming setup, I needed a new webcam. But I am struggling to find one that's not super expensive.
Because of the pandemic, most webcams have sold out, so people are like price gouging webcams right now, which is insane.
It's pretty fucked up. Yeah. I know you just got it was a Brio.
Yeah, and it was like $80 or $90 more than it's actually worth. And I was lucky that I found something like that.
Yeah, I saw one. They were selling one on, like I saw they were selling not the Brio, but the it's a Logitech C920 or something.
Oh, yeah, the 7-year-old standard. Yeah.
I was looking at those because I was like, okay, well the Brios are kind of expensive, and then like I looked at those, I was like, okay, well this would be fine. I didn't really care if it was like super perfect. I just wanted something better than the one that I have, because mine I got bundled with my PC that I bought. And like this is like my old PC from like 2009,
right?
And so it's like a 720 Logitech. I mean, it's like it gets the job done. A lot of people say like, "Wow, you look like you're on VHS right now," and I'm like, "Okay, that's kind of cool, I guess." But
oh yeah, because it kind of has that older kind of effect. I mean, yeah, that's cool. And I mean, webcams, they yeah, I don't know. The thing is, the Brio is supposed to be like under $150.
Yeah,
I ended up buying it for almost $300, and I saw online over $400 deals, which is insane.
Same thing.
If you're doing that, you're an asshole.
I saw a C920 going for like $450 online.
That's nuts. You see what I'm saying? That's nuts. Because like $150 for a Brio cam, $150 for a webcam, I don't mind spending. That's not that much, especially if it's like, it gives you functionality that like I guess you can't find otherwise. And like if you like I don't want to buy a whole new mirrorless camera for streaming, like a Sony for streaming, which is cool if you do that. It's just that I do have cameras, but they're mostly Fuji, and they're not made for that, and they will overheat if I use them for too long, for a prolonged period of time for video. Yeah. So didn't have that option. I was like, well, the inbuilt the MacBook webcam is trash. It's real bad.
Yeah.
So I was like, I have to get something, and then I just couldn't find anything. Everything on Amazon was sold out. The one Brio I found, I was fortunate to find it on eBay. It says it's brand new, completely like packaged and everything. So we'll see. I hope I don't get fucked.
Hoping for the best on that one.
Yeah, I don't really trust eBay usually, but it is what it is. Desperate times call for desperate measures. But it is crazy that like people are like, the webcam you're referring to is like a 7-year-old webcam that you can get for way under $100 now.
I know that it's like not in the same league in terms of like yours is like a 4K. Well, the Brio is like a 4K and this one's not. But I've looked at like there was a test cam. There's people on YouTube who do reviews of all these, and I saw one where it was like 4 webcams going. It was the Logitech Stream Cam, the C920. I think it's the C920. I can't remember the exact number. I'm pretty sure it's C920. And then the Brio
and the Sony mirrorless.
Yeah. Right? And okay, we watched the same video.
I know what you're talking about. We watched the same video, and I was like, the Brio didn't look fantastic by comparison to a lot of those others, but it was default settings, so it actually looked pretty great for ungraded and like without white balance correction. Like when I was looking at the Brio, my only issue was like that white balance is off. I'd correct that if I got it. But what sold me, I guess, was the 90-degree field of view. I was like, I'm probably going to be in a small corner and I'm not going to be able to put my webcam real far from me. So in order to not look like I'm right in front of the camera, just like, hey, what's going on, guys? I thought like having a greater depth of field would save my ass. That's literally the only reason I went with the Brio. I wish there were more good webcam options out there. I'm so surprised that it's as you said, usually whenever I was looking online for webcam, it was like those 3 that people talked about, or just invest in a mirrorless camera. You know, for streaming. And
I like how it's like Logitech just has it sewed up apparently. Like literally anything I've seen has been Logitech stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like all those cameras you mentioned, the streaming one that they made, which is like very deeply flawed, and the OG from 7 years ago, the C920, whatever you call it, that one's the standard, the industry standard to this day, 7 years later. Brio, which is also like 3 or 4 years old now, kind of like one of the only cameras that has this field of view and everything. I don't know. It's weird that there aren't like some worthy competitors out there.
I'm sure there are, but I also think that Logitech is such a trusted brand, like in terms of, like I know a lot of people give Logitech like mice and keyboards and stuff, and like they're just kind of like, oh, we know this is good. It's not some kind of like weird, like sketchy knockoff company.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think a lot of people just flock to that. Like I've noticed it a lot of times, especially in tech community, which I think this bleeds very like heavily into the tech community. It's like people will pay more, like they'll pay a premium on something when they know what they're getting, versus like something that's like technically better but isn't like as like well known. I've noticed a few times.
No, that absolutely makes sense. And I was gonna actually ask you for the microphone. What is your like preferred placement? Because I have like a table stand that I'm probably gonna use for the mic instead of like the boom stand. But my only concern was that like, how do you position it where it doesn't really block your lower face? I guess lower half of your face or something. Is there like, do you ordinarily have it like slightly sideways or pointing kind of backwards and you're hovering almost a little over the mic? Are you considering getting a mic arm or something? Or
well, right now what I've got is I just kind of put it in front of my face, but because my webcam is higher than me, because it's on my monitor and my monitor is pretty high up,
that's smart.
So it's kind of like you can, I don't mind it blocking some of my face, like that doesn't really bother me. Like I don't like really mind. If I got a better webcam, I feel like I would do like a side view or like
side view is not a bad idea. That's right.
Like, or have one where it's kind of like just angled like on my desk, maybe sitting on something. But in terms of like, I just, anytime I do any recording and stuff, when I'm sitting down, I just kind of like put the mic as short as I can, the boom as short as I can, and then like just put it in front of my face. And
I think the side view is the way to go. I think you're right.
Yeah. Or kind of like an angle. Like
or an
just
angle.
in general.
Yeah, I hadn't considered that. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to try to do.
I think the only reason why I like the view that I do is, or have right now, is because like if I'm looking at the camera, it's like I'm looking at the camera. You know what I mean? If I look at the monitor, it's like it looks like I'm looking at the camera. Whereas like,
oh yeah, that's pretty good. That seems pretty intimate, and that's
and I'll do this thing where like while I'm like talking to people, I'll like look up at the camera as if it was a person. You know, I do like that, but I mean, you could do that with it on the side too. You could just turn your head and look, you know, like, so it doesn't really make that big of a difference.
Yeah, but it's like, I see what you're saying though. It does come across almost more effortless. Or if you see something real stupid, just immediately just slightly move your eyes to the webcam and just kind of like,
oh
look
yeah,
at it, like, really?
Well, that's my favorite thing ever is when I played fighters, and if I lose really bad, like I would just like make a face into the fucking camera. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But I definitely want to get a better webcam because this one's pretty bad. Like, it's just it looks like okay, my laptop has a camera on it, and the thing is, I use my laptop as a second monitor, right? Like, I have my laptop open, whereas normally I keep it closed and then use the monitor as a second monitor, you know? So, but the thing that sucks about it is the camera is pretty good. It's better than my Logitech one, like image quality wise, and the positioning of where it's at is sick. Like, I like look down, I'm like, wow, this looks nice. Like, this is a good angle and everything, you know? But the problem with it is that like I move in like 20 frames per second on it, and it looks like really shitty. Like, it looks like, oh, he's on a webcam. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
So
that's what I was worried about with me, especially because, like, you know, those just cheaper or worse webcams obviously will always, and this goes for most cameras, period, will always perform poorly in low light, and the frame rate sort of, at least visually, that's the thing that goes first that I've noticed, you know? When I was testing out the webcam on my Mac, I'm like, damn, it looks trash. Like, it looks so bad. And I was like in a barely, like, just lightly lit room.
Oh, yeah.
And then I turned the light on, and I was like, oh my God, no, it can actually go up to almost 30 frames, and it looks better, you know?
Yeah.
But then also, that's the other thing I think that attracted me about was it the Brio actually, or am I tripping and thinking of a different camera? I think the Brio performed pretty well in low light.
Yeah, and I think they do. All of those cameras do pretty good. The thing with I think the one that I liked in terms of like the low light the best was the C920, because I watched a different video and they were comparing the Brio and the C920, and they were saying that the C920 like looks like, obviously you can fucking change your fucking camera settings, but in terms of raw, I think the C920 handles low light a little bit better. But I think that you can make it work with whatever you got in those, because like they're all in the same league in my opinion.
Yeah.
I just think the Brio, the field of vision, or the was that what it's called? I'm sorry, I'm like
the depth of field or field of view, either.
Yeah, field of view. Okay, yeah, like that I think is so important though, because if you see that dude was taking it was like from the exact same angle, and it looked like a completely different shot. Like, I didn't realize like how big that 90 degrees like feels, you know? Yeah,
it was closer to an eye. Yeah, the human eye, that, you know, eyes have really good depth of field. So I was just, I think it's the combination of different things. You're right, the low light, I don't remember which ones, like how they performed exactly, but you could probably make most things work. And anyhow, even though I wanted to kind of perform well in low light, realistically, as I said, I bought a little like diffuse light thing, table stand light thing for the face to keep myself lit up, so that I don't think I'm really gonna have to necessarily deal with a low light situation. It's just that all of this is gonna be completely new to me, you know, having a green screen, streaming,
the green
stream
screen
deck.
I feel like this green screen would weird me out, even though I know it wouldn't, because you're not like looking at it. But like, the only reason I don't think I would do a green screen, me personally, is because like the idea of like, I like the idea of like, okay, I just sit down and I start streaming and it's like minimal setup. I know you have to set up either way, you know, but I want mine to be like real cozy. And I feel like if I had like basically kind of like a like rudimentary, like a set made like around me, then I would like be like, I wouldn't enjoy it as much, if that makes any sense. I would be like, I'll be like, wow, like look at me, I'm on camera. That's how I think I would feel, even though it's like the same, just a different backdrop. That's just psychologically how I would feel, I think. That's
I see what you're saying. So it's just like your spatial awareness would sort of be impaired a little bit.
Yeah,
when you see yourself,
which my spatial awareness is always impaired, you know. So it'll be
right.
Yeah, so it'll be even worse. The next thing you know, I'm on the ground. You know?
I found the video we were talking about. It's funny how we both saw the same video. I'm guessing like a lot of people who look into this kind of stuff come across it. I saw the low light test. There it is. But without the low light, yeah, it's like the C920 is actually, it's so crazy how it's like one of the prettiest ones, and it's so old, right? Like, how, when are we going to get new webcams?
Man, you know, fucking...
That C920 is performing very well.
There's a lot of pretty old people, you know?
Yeah, well, it's facts, you know? And I'm still friends with you, like, because I know it's not...
Because I'm beautiful?
The age that determines your worth. It's your
bank account,
sexual vigor.
Oh, that too.
That too. Anyway,
man, sorry, I was just drinking my coffee loudly. I'm not gonna edit it out.
Coffee.
Either. I made iced coffee today.
Like, can you turn it up? Bass boost that part.
Hold on, right here. And I'm gonna chew on the little last piece of ice. Boosted. Wait, you ready?
Okay.
That's good ice.
Oh yeah, that's quality ice. Oh yeah.
What is your opinion on what's your opinion on like mukbang videos?
Is that the ones where people eat like disgusting food a lot?
Disgusting. I mean, they don't have to be disgusting food. It could just be any food.
Oh, and is it like, what defines one of those types of videos? What?
Well, I think it's actually pronounced mukbang because I'm pretty sure that it is some sort of Asian language. I don't know which one, but it means means big feast or something. I don't know, big penis.
Okay.
Big beepy.
Okay.
But no. Holy shit! There's a spider on my wall. I'll let him live.
Kiss him.
Sorry. Yeah. So, he's like a big honker. I'm sorry. I just got totally distracted by the size of this fucking spider on my wall. Okay. I'm sorry. A mukbang video is when people order like a lot of food and basically just eat a lot of it. But it doesn't necessarily, that's what it meant originally, but basically it's ASMR of people eating food.
Yeah, I find it personally disgusts me, you know?
Why not? Why, dude? They're just
Why do you mean why not? I didn't say, what do you mean why not? I didn't say don't make these videos, you know? These videos don't deserve to exist. I'm just saying they disgust me.
So you're saying that if anyone does that ever, that you hate them?
Not that I hate them, but I would definitely not be interested in that content at all. To me, it's gross. And the fact that there's an audience for that makes me feel like I'm less in touch with this world than I thought I was.
I feel like there's an audience for, okay, it's like a primal urge. I don't really like them either, but like I do think that there is this kind of weird primal urge. It's like porn, but not sexual, if that makes any sense. I do think that there's like, everyone has like a primal urge thing that they like, that they're like, there's something in their brain that's like, I want to watch more of this, but there's no real reason to, if that makes any sense. And okay. I would describe it as if it was a non-sexual fetish. Like, there's that's what it sounds like to me.
Primal urges, though, that I sort of like feel like aren't necessarily a positive thing, and our ability to consciously keep away from that, such as like rape. That primal urge.
Yeah, of course. I'm not talking about rape, dude. I'm talking about like weird ASMR videos. Like, what the fuck? Like of course, don't rape people. What I'm saying is there's people out there.
Don't rape people.
Don't rape, please. You just threw me completely off with that. What I was saying is that like it's the equivalent of like a fetish that's not sexual, and I think that there's like okay, for example, let me give you one. My girlfriend loves watching pimple popping videos,
which I get. I'm sure there's an audience for that. It's disgusting. Like, it's disgusting.
Nah, dude, the blackhead videos kind of slap. I'm not gonna lie. The rest of them I can't do. She watches any of them, but the blackhead ones I can watch because it's like this weird, satisfying, like, oh, it's coming out. It's kind of situation. But like,
See,
actual like pimples.
and again, I'm not hating on anyone who enjoys this kind of content. I was sort of like throwing a jokey curveball with the rape comment there, which, by the way, I never thought I'd say that sentence.
So you're saying, are you saying on camera, on record right now that anyone who's ever made a mukbang video is a rapist?
No, I'm saying if you enjoy listening to that, you are. No, but okay, all jokes aside, I'm saying that, you might enjoy that, and I find it gross. You might enjoy pimple popping videos. I find that gross. Some people enjoy watching pornography where feces are consumed. Again, I find that gross.
Wow, dude, you don't have to out me like that.
None of those things are for me, but that's fine. I'm sure I have certain things that maybe others would find gross.
Is there any kind of like non-sexual thing that you watch that you consider odd? Like some kind of weirdly satisfying thing. It doesn't have to be gross.
I don't
it just
know.
Has to be
Although,
weird.
like, if I saw Instagram propose one of those, like, those things where they cut through something and it slides just like butter.
Oh,
and
that definitely counts. That is like 100% what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying though? Like, yeah, where like it's usually manufacturing, when it'll be like something will be manufactured and the action itself is so simple and yet it seems almost calculated, but it almost ain't either. It's just like it's happening, and yet everything breaks into like these very perfect pieces. It's kind of nice, but I wouldn't like pursue that. I would never look for it. I'd just say that if I saw that, I could understand why some people would find that like relaxing, just because it's orderly.
Do you ever watch like soap cutting videos?
Again, I don't seek none of that out, but that's kind of the stuff I was talking about. I've seen I've seen that's the kind of stuff I was referring to when I saw on Instagram. When you scroll by and you'll see stuff like that. I've seen that the soap ones, like or like cheese grater on soap and stuff, or whatever. I've seen like some weird scroll by some weird ones with soap, but I get it. I wouldn't again seek it out. It's not like the kind of content where I need it, but I get it. I get it more than I get the pimple popping thing, even though, again, as I said, just because I don't get it doesn't mean like I don't understand why people like it. I'm sure it's satisfying for people.
I think there's a primal. Listen. I have a. This is something.
Primal is the word today.
Primal. There is a primal need in a lot of females to pop pimples, I know like almost every
female specifically.
No, I don't think female specifically, but I've noticed it more in females. I did have a friend who was always like in the locker room when we played football and stuff, he would always be like, yo, dude, let me get that pimple on your back, like all the time. It was like his thing, right? But like,
Jesus,
I think that it's like, I've noticed like almost every girl that I've ever dated has always been like, yo, let me get that. Like if I have like a pimple on my back or something like that.
Oh, like, yeah, I'm just not a big pus guy. I know,
I'm
like,
not either. I don't like it. I don't like it either. But I really don't like it. Like I don't like when people just like be like, "Yo, let me." Like, I don't break out like crazy or anything. But like, I don't particularly like it. Like pain in general, and especially if it's like a pimple where no one will ever see it, and I didn't even know it was there. You know what I mean? Like I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, it'll go away. You know what I mean? But I'm just like almost every girl I've ever dated has always like like that.
So what's the weirdest thing would you say? I mean, sexual or non-sexual? If you don't want to say sexual, like what do you think? Again, I say weirdest. It's all obviously subjective, but you know what I mean. Something that you would think maybe is very much like some people get it, some people don't. Like pimple popping.
Are you
some
talking
people
about
get
that
it.
I watch?
Yeah, some stuff that you like.
General?
So, for instance, pimple popping is something you and I don't get necessarily. It doesn't hit us the same way.
Oh, I
as
get it. I get it
Jordan.
100%. But I don't really
you know
like
what I
it
mean
that
by
much.
don't get it. Like, I mean, we both get it. We both understand why there's some people are satisfied by it. I find it's just that you're like, I get it, and it's okay. It's not disgusting, and I'm like, I get it, and it's disgusting, but it's not for you or me. me, is what I'm saying, right? It's not the content that like you and I are attracted to, but do you have some sort of content that you would think
a lot.
would be like that?
I watch a lot of strange videos. Let's see. I like hydraulic press videos. Those are like one of my favorite, when they take like random objects and like squish them with a hydraulic press. Like that's so satisfying to me, because
those are
first of
cool.
all, there's a world of opportunities for what you can put in those, right? And also there's this like strange, like, I know this sounds really weird, but there's this strange comfort in something that is that strong, that's like, no matter what you put in there, it's gonna be flat. Like, no matter what the fuck object you put in there, it's gonna end up like a circle at the end.
There's must have been some things that didn't, right? Like, that,
I mean, some things like shatter, you know what I mean? But like, for the most part, if you put like metal in there, it's gonna be metal. Like, I've never seen one where it hasn't been able to like at least like demolish a thing, you know? Like, I've never watched like diamonds or anything, but I mean, diamonds can still crack, even though they're like the hardest substance in the world. That doesn't mean they won't crack, you know? Like I've heard of people's fucking diamonds cracking in their jewelry and stuff just from normal everyday use. You know, it happens. So like, okay, I love those red hot nickel ball videos. Do you know anything about those?
Is that in a similar vein as those, like, you know, when they would like put a blowtorch to a knife and then cut through like a phone type of thing?
Yeah, it was like that, but the red hot nickel ball I like a little bit more. Although, actually, I do like the red hot knife ones, because it's like, if you cut through things, sometimes it's satisfying. But the red hot nickel ball is, you take a big, like, it's a ball of nickel, and they take a blowtorch to it until it's like red hot, and then they just drop it on different substances. And some of the funniest ones are, they took like a brick of like Velveeta cheese, and they they just drop it on there. And the thing is like, Velveeta, like, that's not cheese. Like, it's not cheese at all, right? It's some sort of processed thing that has like almost no cheese in it, right? And the thing is like, when it lands, the first thing it does is like, it farts. Like, it just makes like a farty noise, and it sounds so fucking funny.
It's because
and there's no way,
like,
even if you, and the thing is like, the red hot nickel ball videos, I thought I was weird. But anyone I ever show those videos to, they're always just like, no, I like this. They're always like, this is surprisingly good. So shout out. There's a dude, it's like Cars and Water, I think is his name. I can't remember his name, but there's a dude on YouTube who,
so you would seek
every
out
other day
these,
puts one.
You would seek out these kinds of videos.
I have before, not like
I
all
see.
the time, but I would like go out of my way. Yeah,
I understand you're not addicted.
But, well, okay, I really like watching like chemical reaction videos too, like to like it'll be like science experiments. That's where it started. Like, it would be like we were watching.
What would happen?
It was like but we were watching like the slow-mo guys or something. We were just like fucking baked watching YouTube, and we were just on that weird YouTube loop, you know? And we were watching these things one time, and it was like, what would happen if this chemical hit this chemical, and it would do this like really crazy reaction that makes like a solid out of a liquid, you know? And I'd be like, wow, this is so cool. And then that somehow led me to the red hot nickel balls videos, and I remember watching those and be like, this is it. Like, this is fire. And the best part about the whole video, and y'all know what I'm talking about if y'all watch those videos, the most satisfying part, not even the part where he puts it on there, is when he's got the blowtorch and he turns it off, because it shows him like heating it up at first. And when he turns it off, it makes this like little beep noise. And that's the best noise in the world. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Have you sampled that noise yet?
No, but that's what I'm going to do on stream tonight.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I've seen some of these videos that you talk about, like the red hot knife, and like been shared around and stuff like that. But I don't know if I've ever. I'm trying to think of like, what have I ever like really gone like, damn, this is real satisfying. Let me find some more. Like,
I'll go on like, well, I think a lot of it is because like I sample ASMR so much, and so I've seen so many weird ASMR videos that like kind of nothing surprises me at this point. And
I see. Yeah, I'm not a big ASMR guy.
Oh, I love it. I love that shit. I don't go to sleep to it. I just like hearing. I don't like the ones where they whisper as much, but I like hearing like weird like noises. Like they'll take, like they'll be like, oh, we're gonna fucking type on this kind of keyboard, and I like that sound a lot. Or like water beads, stuff like that. Stuff that I can sample, but it just sounds like ear porn to me.
I feel like I just haven't discovered something for myself like that yet. Like I'm sure there's plenty of stuff like that out there for me. Yeah, it's definitely not. Because I remember when I was a kid, the way I discovered porn was like somebody in class. We were like in IT or something, or an art class, but we weren't on computers, and somebody just like showed me some titties online. And I was like, you can do that? You know, I was like, oh,
that's illegal.
Wait, you can find naked ladies on the internet? Then I went home and like I remember like I didn't know how to search this shit, so I was just like think of like curse words. I was like, if I look up curse words, I was just like shit, ass, bitch, fuck. Like I would do that, you know, just like. I'm sure this is how I access the parts of the internet that I ain't supposed to see.
It is, dude.
And I remember it's ingrained in my head. I remember there was this video, and this is back when like there was dial-up. So to see like a 10 to 20 second video, you have to wait like half an hour to an hour.
Yeah.
For it to load.
Good times.
And then it loaded, and so like now that it's loaded, I have to see the whole thing, and it was like. I think it's like these teachers, and they go into the teacher's bathroom, and they're in that restroom, and they're all naked all of a sudden now. They're kissing each other, and then they're like shitting on each other. And now it's just like, what the fuck? First time I saw it, I was just like, what
wait,
I thought like, damn.
The first porn you ever watched was shit porn.
No, it's not the first porn. No, it's not first. It's like, as I said, like at that point I was looking up different things, so I saw a lot of porn in like small increments. Okay. And during that period is the first time I was exposed to scat porn. It was like it wasn't like Two Girls, One Cup wasn't my first exposure to this shit. Yeah. I no pun intended. I literally stumbled across it before, and I remember thinking like, this is disgusting, but I convinced myself in my head, like, well, this is Hollywood, so all of that's got to be like
fake, yeah,
caramel or chocolate or something, you know.
Yeah.
I remember I was really turned off from like using words like shit or ass in my searches anymore, and then I realized that for a while I was like, I wasn't looking up booty related stuff just because I was worried that would be innately connected to feces, right? And then later on I was just like, oh no, there's plenty of big butts out there that aren't shitting. And again, if that's your thing, we're not kink shaming. I'm not kink shaming. I know I was saying it's gross to me, the pimple popping stuff. I'm sure it's so satisfying to a lot of you. Obviously, it's satisfying to Jordan. I have respect for Jordan. I'm not shitting on her.
Yeah.
It's just I'm saying it's
proud
not for
about
me.
it. Like she doesn't give a fuck. Like she'll talk about it around people.
Yeah,
and stuff.
exactly. So do you? I've yet to come across something that I think that maybe tickles me the same way, where it's like, oh, that's
definitely, I promise you,
satisfying.
there is something out there that will tickle you the same way. You just have not found it yet.
There has to
you have to go on your journey for it.
Maybe music does that for me, because oftentimes I'll be looking through music, I put it on like a damn near cry if it's like really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
It's like, oh.
I feel like that's
and it's
different,
like it gives you
though.
that stank face.
I think that's different, though. That is a different. We're talking about different itches. I think that's a different itch entirely, though, because there's certain music that I like. There's certain music that I like strictly. I mean, it's good musically, but like, okay, like Flying Lotus is like ASMR to me. Like those like weird like ticks and
the textures.
sounds and textures and stuff.
Yeah, the textural
like,
stuff. Yeah.
I hear that stuff and like, okay, like Cosmogramma, right? I couldn't tell you, it's one of my favorite albums, but I couldn't tell you any of the song names or anything except for like two of them. But I do know that every time that one song comes on where he uses the fucking egg timer in the sound, I'll be like, wow, this is like, that tickles the same part of my brain as like ASMR does. But I don't like stank face to that. You know what I mean? So I think it is kind of like a different thing. I see what you're saying. Like, I want to say we were talking about our first time, our first like, not our first time seeing porn, but I want to tell you about the first time I saw porn. if that's okay.
Okay. I like that. I know we were talking about the first time. Not the first. I want to tell you about the first time I saw porn.
Well, I didn't want to say. I wanted to segue back to that because you brought that up. The first time I saw porn, I thought I was going to be in so much trouble, bro. Like I thought I was, and it wasn't even real porn. The first porn I ever saw was hentai. Like,
oh, that explains a lot about you.
Yeah, dude, it all comes together. No, so, well, actually, technically, it wasn't even hentai. It was just anime titties. Like, what happened was,
Ranma?
No. It was before I knew about Ranma. There was this book that I bought when I was like 10, because I loved anime, but I didn't know like a lot about it. About like different ones, and there's this really I still recommend this book. There's this book called Anime Explosion. I don't know who it's by, but I own it, and it's called Anime Explosion, and it's like a chronological, like a history behind anime, and also like different genres of anime and like examples. And it came out in the 90s, like late 90s, maybe early 2000s, and yeah, I'd say like probably 2000. And so it has like a lot of the stuff up to that point. And I really like that genre, like that, I want to say genre, that time period in anime, like the way things look and stuff. And so I recommend that one. It's really good. But there's a whole section on like ecchi stuff. And I didn't know that, like, for some reason in my like 10-year-old brain at the time, I was like, they don't actually show titties. Like in these, like it's like censored. It has to be because it's a cartoon. That was like my rationale, right? And one of them was a fucking fire ass movie called Plastic Little, which has like a lot of like titties in it, but it's also like a action movie, you know. And it's got really, I can't remember the name of the artist, but he's really, really good. And yeah, so I remember looking up, because I wanted to watch the movie. Like I was like, yeah, I want to watch the movie. So I put in Plastic Little, and like I remember my mom was at home, but she let me get on the internet when she wasn't there. And so like I looked up Plastic Little, and then I looked at, like, I was scanning through the videos and I couldn't find any that would like I could download the whole thing or whatever, because I thought it was like you could just download the whole thing, just like click it and that's it, you know. And then I like accidentally clicked on images, and it was just like titties like everywhere. And I was just like, oh, and I was like looking at it, I was like, oh my God, like those are fucking titties. I was like, that's a whole titty. And like, I'd never even seen like a real human titty at this point, like a woman's, you know? And so I was like, so like, that's like
precise
a woman's. I mean, I'd seen
a woman's titty. I've seen plenty of man titties.
I've seen a bunch of man titty, but I remember seeing that. And then like, I didn't know how to like erase my history or anything, but I was like, oh shit, like my mom's gonna know, you know? And so she got home and I told her, like, I was like,
found out.
I told her like afterwards, I was like, hey, just want to let you know, I wasn't looking up boobies, but boobies popped up, you know? But yeah. So,
damn.
And then after
You're
that,
such a good kid, man. I got caught.
Well, I got caught too later. Like I got caught like, like not like in the process, but like one time I got smart and I learned how to like delete the history, but then like my mom somehow still saw what I looked at. I don't know if she had like a program installed that was like monitoring it or something, but she was like, it embarrassed me so bad because she was just like, yeah, like I saw like what you were looking at and how long you were looking at it. And I was like, that's fucked up. like to this day, like if she ever were to bring that up again, which she wouldn't, I mean, she doesn't care now, you know, obviously, but like at the time, like I would just be like, that's fucked up. You're fucked up for that. Because you could have just said, I saw what you saw, but you didn't have to say how long you were watching it. Like,
yeah,
don't like that.
That hits different.
Yeah, that does hit different.
Yeah, that stinks. Yeah, I got fucking. They looked up the history, man. They're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
My son's into scat porn.
You have to think. I looked up every possible combination of bad word with things. This is before I think. You know, search engines. There was like really good established search engines out there. We had Yahoo.
Yeah.
you know, and stuff like that. But it wasn't great. The best way to find things was you just type something in and then .com. That's how I found Pokemon.com, CartoonNetwork.com,
I did that too,
Nickelodeon.com. Digimon.com. All of these things, I would just be like, what do I like? .com. And then it's like, bigtitties.com, you know? And then like,
Yo, I'm gonna go to bigasstitties.com.
then like, assfucking.com, you know? And just like,
I love that for us.
shitass.com, bitchfuck.com. Like I was a kid. So yeah, man, that's porn for you. I wonder, what was your first pornography experience? Write it in the comments. Actually, my first exposure to some sort of porn is a very vague memory from when I was like 2 or 3. But I remember stumbling upon a VHS cassette with just a girl with titties out. It's definitely a porn VHS cassette. I don't know if it was my mom's, because I was living with a single mom, or if it was like one of her, like her homies always constantly used to come over to the crib, and my mom's place was sort of like the hangout place sometimes.
Yeah.
But also because she was like a single mother who looked really young. The government never suspected anything. The police never suspected anything about her. So a lot of her homies would store guns at our apartment. And I remember she would put them in between the shirts and the clothing, basically, in between the clothing stacked in the wardrobe.
Right.
And I wouldn't be surprised maybe they on occasion also just like brought things over aside from that. I know they brought video games as well.
Yeah, maybe someone just brought some porn over. That sounds
And maybe someone just like left it there, or like or stashed their porn because they didn't want, you know, their family finding it over at their house or whatever. You
Maybe.
know? I don't know. Like, but I remember that, and then like later on in life, going to one of our neighbors' houses and like hiding in the attic. And in the attic, I stumbled upon like a box that was for this product that milks the titty, and
tight.
And on the cover, they just had this lady who had just massive tits, just smiling at the viewer. So that was another exposure. And at some point, I vaguely remember seeing pornography or something on TV, walking into the living room, seeing something and it being turned off. And I may be absolutely wrong, and I don't remember when and where or when that happened. I remember what must have been happening is like the dude was eating the chick out and the chick was sucking the dude's dick. But I remember thinking like, yeah, why would she put his pee-pee in her mouth? Like,
yeah,
gross.
I always thought that it was like as a kid, if I heard someone saying like, oh, like they're sucking dick, like I always thought that it was some kind of weird, like, oh, those are like freaks. Like that's like they're just trying to be gross. That's what I thought it was.
And I didn't fully know what women had, but I sort of kind of knew and didn't. I had already seen a vagina by the time I was like 4, right?
Right.
Just because like I was really close friends with one of our neighbors. There was a girl my age. Her name was Diana, and we would be like best friends, and it would be like, oh, we're gonna get married. You know, they're like 3-year-old kids.
Damn, y'all got married? Can't believe that.
You know, yeah, exactly. And there's like stories where we'd like both try to use the toilet at the same time. We both try to shit at the same time.
Yeah.
And we'd be like on the same toilet, pushing each other, trying to get some space.
Right,
and we'd be like shitting together and stuff. So I already knew she didn't have a dick or balls.
That's
right?
close. That's close, man.
That is close. And I knew she didn't have a dick and balls, but I never really thought about it. I didn't have a curiosity. I wasn't like,
I didn't either.
What's going on? You know, as you're 3,
I knew this girl when I was pretty young. I was like maybe 8 or 9, and she was like maybe a year younger than me, something like that. I can't remember, but I do remember like I was at her house for something. I can't remember exactly. It was not like a birthday party, but it was a reason why I was there. And she had a Super Nintendo, and she had Donkey Kong Country. And I was like so fucking excited because I didn't have a Super Nintendo, and I was like, fuck, I'm about to play Donkey Kong Country. So I'm playing it, and then like I guess like she got a shower or something, and she came out like just like butt ass naked, and she was just like running around like you know, kids are just fucking just do shit. And like I remember being like, yo, put some clothes on. I didn't have any kind of like sort of fucking curiosity. Like I was just like, put some clothes on.
Not at all. Just
and
like,
then
what's happening?
she was like running around like she thought it was funny. Like that was her thing. She was like, haha, I'm naked, you know? And I was like sitting there, I was basically like, bitch, like fucking put some clothes on. And then like I remember her being like, it's not like weird for you that like you don't think it's like funny or whatever that I'm naked, like because and I was just like, I remember saying some answer like I was like, it's natural. Like some like fucking I also don't know why I sound like an old man as a child. Like,
Put on some clothes, you dumb bitch.
you stupid bitch.
Get it together.
Dude, I didn't curse until I was like fucking 14 years old.
Right.
I never did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I was cursing hella early.
I wasn't.
Just because I'd hear it all around me. I know my mom would beat my ass when she'd hear me curse. But like when she didn't know I was around, she'd be cursing like a sailor. You know, it's like.
Oh yeah. My dad always cursed, but he never said fuck. Like that was the thing. He never like said the F word at all. Like, but he would curse all the time. Like he would say like shit, bitch, damn, you know, but not like overtly so. But if he like stubbed his toe, he'd be like, son of a bitch, you know. But for whatever reason, buffalo diarrhea. But yeah, no.
Shit, fuck.
Shit, fuck. Shit, fuck. Yeah, no. But
fuck ass.
I remember it's funny because my mom never cursed around me, but the first time I ever heard the word fuck being said, like beyond like media, came out of her mouth, and it was because she had been working on this this thing for work, and we had this like really shitty it was something for her job, and she had this like kind of shitty compact computer. Like it was shitty back then. What shitty back then was like rough, you know.
That's super shitty.
Yeah, like. And she worked really hard on some kind of report that she had to do for her job, and she basically lost all of it because it kept freezing.
Oof.
And I heard her say, I guess just out of like, I've never heard anyone say this since, but it just hit different hearing her. She said, she called it a piece of fuck.
That's great.
And I was like,
a piece of fuck.
I never analyzed that until just now, but like that sounds like some fucking angry video game nerd shit.
It totally does.
Yeah.
You fucking piece of fuck.
Yeah, she yelled it too. Like she was in the other room, and then like she apologized to me. She came out. She's like, "I'm sorry. Like you didn't have to hear that."
You were crying. You heard your mom say that for you. You were like,
it was like I was like scared, like because I was like, I've never heard her curse ever, and that's the thing is like I hate like cursing around children. Like I just can't stand it. I guess because
100%.
Like I was like. Because it was the way I was like brought up.
I agree.
And so like it weirds me out. It weirds me out when like people curse in front of their kids and stuff like that. I guess that's why. But like hearing her and my dad doing it, my dad was always like super manly. Like that was his thing. Like he was like real macho and all this stuff. And so when he did it, it wasn't weird to me. But when my mom cursed, I was like, like,
yeah, my dad wasn't super macho. He was super absent. But my mom definitely, even though as I said she cursed like a sailor whenever she thought I wasn't around me, she was definitely trying to like not do that for sure. And she didn't want to hear me swear, even though she knew I knew all the curse words. She was like, "You not gonna say them around me, or I'm gonna whoop your ass." And she did. She beat me a lot.
You're not gonna say those curse words around me, or I'm gonna fuck you up, she says.
You piece of fuck.
You piece of fuck.
So there is that. So there, man, we got to talk about like how we came across porn and why you can't stop eating ass and how like all these things are intertwined with Twitch streaming. You know.
Yeah.
It's been a roller coaster, but I think it's time for a motherfucking ad.
Oh man, I've got this one. I have the sponsor written down already.
Is that the sound of a sloth about to vomit? Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, it is. I can hear it in the distance. Okay, let me ask you a question, Rav. What's your opinion on babies?
Overrated.
I've been saying it. I've been saying it since birth. Since I was a baby, I was saying I'm overrated, you know?
Yeah.
I fucking can't stand them. You see them? I hate them. Want to punt them. But you can't punt them because you go to jail. So this is what you do.
If you get caught.
We got the product for you. You ever just have a baby in your house and you're just like, I don't want it. You know? Don't like it. That ever happened to you?
Should have worn a condom.
I mean, it's not my baby, but you know, it's just a baby in the house. You're just like, fucking hate these fucking babies. You know, a neighbor comes over,
I don't
they
know
bring
where
the
it
baby.
came from, but it's here.
Yeah, okay. What if I were to tell you that I have a product that just makes that baby just go away forever?
Is it that straw product you were talking about the other day?
No, that's right, Rav. Baby eating dingoes. Take it away.
I mean, I know very little about this product because I'm not.
Take it away.
I know that all the dingo products seem to be really big dingo, as I call that industry, clearly have
Big dingo.
in their chain of like emails, like the email group, you're in it for sure.
For sure.
And I rarely get included in these conversations, so you putting me on blast is a bit of a power move. I get it, but I'm gonna try to tackle it as best as I can with what little knowledge I have now. These are dingoes, and as far as I understand, hold on.
So fine. Take your time with the notes. Take your time.
Hold on. Shush. Wait, I'm okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah, these dingoes eat babies. So that's the technology.
Okay. Beautiful. So what they do to get these dingoes enticed is, since birth, they just dangle a little infant over them and say, like, this is your food. But they don't give them the baby, you know? So it's just hungry for babies. So, you know, your neighbor comes over, she brings her little baby over, and you're like, oh, I fucking hate that kid. Just sick the dingoes on him, you know? You won't be charged with murder because the dog will take the fall for you.
Yeah. So I'm not sure I fully understood how these dingoes get trained to want babies. So baby infants get dangled in front of them and they are convinced that that is food.
Yeah.
Yet they don't get it.
I mean, it's just like,
this is
like throughout their entire miserable lives, they're put in cages and they dangle
and then they get to
infant.
eat a baby and then they get shot.
Well, like later, yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good life. I mean, classic Pavlovian conditioning, obviously.
Yeah.
And what's the company name again? I don't want to mispronounce this one.
Big Dingo presents baby eating dingoes.
Okay, I'm glad. I was going to pronounce it that way as well. I was going to exactly pronounce it like that, but I just didn't want to seem like a fool in case I pronounced baby wrong. Yes, copyrighted and trademarked.
Yeah, all rights reserved. So yeah, just get rid of that kid. You got a toddler. I mean, I'm sure it can fuck that up too, you know? So, dingo.
How does one acquire a baby eating dingo?
Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to call 1-800 Eat My Baby. And then you're going to want to give them, just tell them Bill and Rav sent you, and they'll give you a little something. They'll give us a little cut of something.
You know what?
They'll give you
Just say
something.
Bill sent you. Honestly,
say Rav sent you mostly.
Bonus.
Say Bill and Rav, but mostly Rav sent you. And actually, you can just say Rav. You know, just say mostly Rav sent me. You don't have to get too specific. They'll know who you're talking about, you know?
Yeah.
And they won't link anybody to any kind of incriminating thing. But yeah, get rid of those babies. Yeah, but you got to stop children from being a thing. So you got to get them young.
Okay.
Gotta kill them young.
That's disgusting. Oh, yes. Well, thank you, Big Dingo.
Thanks, Big Dingo. You are murderers.
Yes, and you guys are Bill's best friend. Clearly, Bill is in Big Dingo's pocket, you know?
Just a little bit.
Does what's in the best interest of Big Dingo.
You ever think that, like, babies just look like little old men?
It depends on what kind of old men you've seen in your life, I suppose.
I mean, like,
I've seen...
What's the protocol on ugly babies? Like, just in general.
I don't like them.
I mean, what do you when you see an ugly child, do you point out that this child is ugly, or do you just kind of go oh yeah, it's beautiful kid?
Yeah, I mean, look, if somebody doesn't ask for my opinion, but they'll quickly look at me and they saw I just looked at a baby, I'll just smile at them and like lower my eyebrows, like as if my eyebrows are doing but I'll do it for like a second and a half at the very most, and then I run. Like I panic, I Naruto run out the room.
Yeah. Smart. You're like a thief in the night.
If somebody asks me, like, if they give me their baby and they say, well, I rate it out of 10, what you think?
What you thinking, fam? I feel like I've said the phrase when someone hands me a phone and it has like a picture of a baby on it. Or be like, oh, look, so-and-so had a baby. I think I've said the phrase, that's an ugly-ass baby, like at least 10 times in my life.
Yeah, well, that's a good way of breaking ice because it's funny, you know, and they know, like, of course, he's saying it because he doesn't mean that. I think if you are worried about being mistaken like Bill is in these circumstances, I think what you could say is like, no, but seriously, a hideous child.
Yeah.
But no wonder, I guess, considering the genes, you know. And then just like, by the way, lose my number. You know, say something like that as well. Drop your pants and shit on their rug.
I think that's a real good thing to say to someone like, hey, what do you think of my baby? And be like, wow, looks just like you. Ugly as fuck.
Yeah. And then you shit on their rug.
Dude, this is good. You and me, man, I think we should like get an apartment together and leave our women.
I think
you know what I mean? Like you and me just fucking move in together and just, you know.
No.
Like be roomies. Like you and me, you know, just like the old times, you know? You know what I mean, bro? You know? Just you and me, butt ass naked, watching X-Men, sweaty, rolling around in the hay in our house, in our apartment, practicing full Nelsons on each other, you know. Yo, I got you the Cobra Clutch. You know? I just say, wouldn't that be good? Yeah, just you and me, man. Just two dudes being bros, you know? Shitting on each other. Just rolling around. Run around in our shit. Watching X-Men cartoons, bro. just us. Us against the world. You know, just you being a meth pipe. Just fucking.
Hey, Bill, I think